is WCIA 3 News at 10.
That doesn't even have to be a construction going on in that area.
This driver was nearly crushed between two semis in a construction zone. Good evening, I'm Aaron Bennett.
And I'm Jessica Coons. We've told you about accidents on I-74 recently, but this is the first time we've heard from one of the drivers involved. This crash happened in the construction zone between Urbana and St. Joe yesterday afternoon. It involved 3 semis and a car. Everyone involved was lucky to make it out alive. WCIA 3's Ty Bateman is with us now. Ty, the driver you talked with says he couldn't even avoid this crash if he tried.
Jessica, he says he was watching his surroundings through his mirror. Even though he tried to get out of the way, as he was hit, his car was totaled. Luckily, those involved walked away from it all with some scratches, but people still wonder why this area has become such a problem. Thousands of drivers roll through this stretch of Interstate 74 daily. With the orange barrels up, travelers have to slow down and even come to a stop. Virgil Varvel is one of those drivers.
It doesn't even have to be a construction going on in that area. For some reason, it's terrible. And even 57 around Champaign, I don't know why this area is so accident prone.
Since the area has construction, now he says he would normally avoid the interstate, but he and his daughter had to travel to St. Joseph for an appointment. On the way, Varvel says he slowed down in the construction zone. The semis in front and behind him slowed down too, but he says a third semi didn't. That's when the crash happened.
Because I knew it was going to happen. She didn't until glass exploded all over her.
His car landed in the median. He was in shock. His daughter was screaming and crying, and they had to wait longer than usual for help. Terry Lemke drives for Reynolds Towing.
Anytime we get a call on the interstate with an accident, trying to get there typically is hard.
And if that accident is in a construction zone like this one, it can be more difficult getting to the scene.
I had a hard time getting around the cars because people were swerving over to the shoulder to try to see what was going on in front of them, which then in turn slowed me down to be able to get to the other accidents.
Varvel wants drivers to stay aware because you never know what's going to happen.
My biggest concern is that no matter how safe you drive, I honestly don't think I could have driven any safer at that moment. You can still be destroyed by somebody else.
And Varvel's daughter is 16 years old, and although she found this to be a traumatizing moment, she said it's not stopping her from going to driver's ed next month. Jessica?
And thankfully it wasn't worse. All right, Ty, thank you so much for that follow-up. Now, as a reminder, the Move Over law is not just for law enforcement. If there are flashing lights on a vehicle, tow trucks, or IDOT, drivers should move over to another lane if possible.